Hey guys, ticker INDO has been pretty popular this past week. A lot of traders talking about this one. This one's circulating in different chats. But what I want to go over is this is really a hype play. And these hype plays are going to be a little bit different than the strategy that we teach. The strategy that we teach often requires volume. And you can see down here we had very little volume on INDO. You can see that on our volume histogram down below. We're looking for those yellow candles or yellow bars down here. That's going to be what we're looking for in this gray area, which is the pre-market session. So yes, this is tradable. Had a nice pop here, but it dropped soon after, gave the bearish signal, and then went red from there, and then really just chopped up. Again, low volume on that time frame. And so that is something that I would be looking to avoid. So a lot of traders would come into chat and they say, you know, Bob, what do you think about INDO here at this time, or maybe over here, maybe it closed above a pivot zone. I wouldn't really be a player on something like this because it has very little volume. I don't want to provide that liquidity. So until we get the volume, I wouldn't really be too interested. So over here it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't up at that time. 7 is when I start trading. That's right in this area here. And as I'm watching from 7 on, I'm just watching for volume. And we can see we had a volume candle here. So we do have a little bump up, a little fail. And you can see inconsistent volume on the histogram as I go across here. This is where we started to pick up in volume. This is this area right here where we started to then pick up in volume. So I would be a player in this area. And whenever I'm trading something like this, I'm using the 1 minute Bullish Pivot Pro. You guys can see that it helps mitigate risk. And what I mean about that or by that is that when I get into my trade, if I get on these candles that are now showing volume, I'm confirming that volume is now apparent. And I can see that it is bullish on the trend here above this blue trend line here or trend zone. That means I'm using that trend zone as my exit as well as my entry. So if we pull back to that trend zone, I can get in. If we then close below or start to come under the trend zone, that's where I exit my position. So it gives me a clear indication of where do I want to get in, where do I want to get out. Of course, I want to get in once the volume starts to arrive here. Where do I want to get out? My stop would be set just below that trend zone. If I'm trading the pivot zone itself, so this pivot zone was formed here, we closed above on this candle. If I took that entry here or the pullback to this pivot zone, same idea, my exit or my stop loss would then be just below the pivot zone. So I could really use either the trend zone or the pivot zones to help mitigate risk and maximize profit. Once I see that we have this pivot zone at the top of this move, of course, I'm looking to secure my profit. As we pull back, this is showing a bearish sentiment on the strategy. This is a bearish sentiment on the trend as well. You can see that combination led to INDO then dropping, giving a pivot, and making some moves here, retesting, almost retesting highs there before then it fell all the way down. And at this point, we are now seeing it drop like crazy. So 296 is the low over there, and we were talking 795 this morning. So all in a day's time. So again, want to focus on risk mitigation number 1, maximizing profit number 2. So if I'm looking to mitigate risk, whenever I'm getting in with this volume down here, of course, I'm not trading with the low volume. I'm using volume to basically use it as a confirmation of yes, there is attention here. Yes, it is tradable. Once we see that volume, I'm using this area to help stay in that trade for as long as possible with locking in profit as I see these conditions. So hopefully that helped, guys. This is just using the 1 minute Bullish Pivot Pro. Again, just analyzing this quickly on INDO. It's been a very popular stock with everything going on. A little bit of volume around 4 a.m., pop and drop, and then really didn't see any volume until we started to pick up over here on this time. Once we start to see those volume bursts, that's when I'm looking for possible trades. And of course, that's when it's going to start alerting on our scanners as well. So guys, hopefully this helped. If it did, let me know in chat, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Remember, trading isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared. If you're serious about improving and want to learn directly from our live sessions, visit bullishboblive.com. We're live Monday to Friday, walking through setups, strategies, and everything in between. Thanks again for watching. Stay focused, stay sharp, and keep growing.